Ain't no shame in my game. For real, for real.
I love it. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good.
Mr. Troy Oliver. Look, thank you for joining me for Kera Dangerous. Well, it's Kera Dangerous Talk.
Okay. That's what's up. I
Yeah,
like it.
thank you. I appreciate that. So, look, normally how I start off the show is I do this segment I call Give the Person Their Flowers.
Okay.
So basically what that is just me trying to say something nice to the person, just to spread something, just to spread positivity.
Okay.
So with you, I can say, I've known you for a while. You've been a real cool dude. I
Okay.
hit you up a couple of times. We've talked, we've spoken about music, and
Right.
you seem to be like a pretty humble dude. And I appreciate that. That song I wrote about my best friend who passed away. You made the record for that, and it was a
Right.
beautiful track. So I really appreciate that. You
That
let
song
me
was dope
use
too.
that.
Real
Thank you. I
deep.
appreciate that. And it's gratifying people like that sometimes that who have reached a certain level that will extend a hand back or even will just take the time to have real conversations with you.
Right.
So, I appreciate that from you because you don't have to do it. Nobody's forced to do anything. So,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
That's all God. I love to do it. I feel it's my duty. Like it's a not just an honor, but you know what I'm saying, my responsibility. You know, that's it. That is what it is.
So I know who you are, but for the people who don't and the people who need to know, just give us a little bit of introduction to who Troy Oliver is.
You would do that to me. I don't like talking about myself, especially in the third. I talk about myself in the third person most of the time because I just don't like talking about myself. But since you asked and we're on your platform, Troy Oliver. Now, what part? Now, there's many facets to Troy Oliver. Like, which way you want me to go?
Well, we gonna look. We're gonna start with the professional Troy. You can tell us
Okay,
about the entanglement Troy later.
okay. I don't know if we're gonna talk about entanglement, Troy, but I mean, so I'm 45 years old. I consider myself officially in the music game when I got my first check from a record label. I got my first check from a record label when I was like 18, 19. So, prior to that, I was, in the studios grinding like everybody else, but I'm a musician first. So, music is in my DNA. I've done music all my life, played several instruments. My father plays instruments. My grandfather played instruments. My grandmother, got a whole bunch of aunts that sing. So, like, I just told somebody this yesterday, when I was in second and third grade, when they ask you what you want to be when you grow up, there was never no doubt in my mind what I was going to do. I didn't know to what extent, but I knew my career at some point it was going to be music, whatever I did. So I've been in the music industry for over 20 years.
Mm.
um, got my start with Sony Records through a mentor of mine, Corey Rooney. Started doing records with another mentor of mine, Troy Taylor. That was like years ago. I had my first single, Do Your Thing, in '98. Then after that, the rest is like history, as they say.
So let's get to the part everybody want to know. Tell us some of those big people you work with, some of those people we can recognize that people can connect with right away.
Well, the most recent records that I've done was with Trey Songs. We did something for the Black Power movement, the whole everything that's going on called 2020 riots. How many times? I did that with my mentor Troy Taylor. And then Trey just released another single that we did a couple weeks ago called Circles. Also worked with, of course, Genuine. His biggest record differences, that was me. Jennifer Lopez, Jenny from the Block, I'm Real. A few other records with Jennifer, worked with Jessica Simpson, Tamar
Major,
Braxton,
major.
Faith, Kiki
Woo!
Wyatt. I be forgetting. I ain't gonna hold you. Of course, Jadakiss and
I'm laughing
Styles.
because these are good names. You like, oh, forget, okay, okay.
Styles P, Jadakiss, Rough
Woo!
Ends, of course, the Someone to Love You record, which is a big record. Did that with my mentor, Corey Rooney. Some folks that y'all may not know, but Hall and Oates, I worked with them years ago. Celine Dion, had the opportunity to work with her for a little while. Um, uh, yeah, I be forgetting when it's not
I'm
in
about
front
to
of
say,
me.
damn, is the interview over?
When it's in front, when it's not in front of me, I don't know why. I just like now when we hang up, I'm like, oh, I forgot to say such and such, such and such. But yeah, you know,
You know, that's crazy. You work with all those people. And you know me when I first started talking to you, I'm like, Troy, you better pick up your phone, Troy. Troy, where you
yeah.
at? And
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
my
you
son just reminded me. Lenny Kravitz. I work with Lenny Kravitz too.
Lenny
Yeah,
Lenny Kravitz. Oh my God, that's
that was
so
a dope
dope,
session.
man.
That Lenny Kravitz session was amazing. Like for real, for real.
Oh, I love Lenny Kravitz, man. I can
Yeah,
just tell you that. Wow, that's
yeah.
awesome.
He was one of the coolest. I would say one of the coolest. Definitely one of the coolest artists I've ever worked with. Like, as far as humble, being like low key and not big at, like Lenny was like mad cool. Like for real, for real.
Really?
It was like being in a session with the homie. Like, yeah, Lenny was dope.
Oh, that makes me happy. It's so good
Yeah,
when you can hear that people are nice when you actually meet them and they don't
yeah.
disappoint you.
Can I be honest with you? I've never really worked with or met an artist that wasn't nice. Like every
Really?
artist I've ever worked that I've experienced, my experience, yeah. Like it's weird because the people that be with them, like their little crew or whatever, they be the ones that be trying to act, you know what I'm saying, all high and mighty,
Yeah.
high city. But the artists themselves be mad cool, man. You know what? I did have this one bad experience with one artist though. I'm not gonna say her name, but yeah, had one bad experience.
Damn.
I was late to the session though, so she could have took it a little easy on me, but yeah, I had one artist that she was rough. Yeah, she was mean. She was mean as a bulldog. I ain't gonna tell her
Oh
name though.
man.
Yeah.
Dang. And I'm like
Uh,
going through the list of people you just named in my head. like I
yeah.
got my own ideas. Lord, please don't let it be my boo Tamar. I love Tamar.
No,
Oh my
no, Tamar.
God.
I love Tamar.
Oh,
She,
okay, thank God.
yeah,
I'm like,
I
I
know. I did
love
a Tamar
Tamar.
record. I met Tamar years ago, obviously, but I actually did end up doing that record because of her husband, Vince. Well,
Oh, okay.
ex-husband. I've known Vince for over 20 years. Like Vince made the call about that song. So yeah, it's just the industry is all about relationships. Who you know.
Well, we started talking about some of the artists you work with, and I want to stay there, but I also want to kind of go back to the beginning too, because I know did you start in the church? Because you at church
Absolutely,
every Sunday.
absolutely, and I'm still in church every Sunday to this day.
Yes, you are. I
Sunday
mean, I,
mornings,
I
that's
see
where
that
I
all the
am.
time.
Yeah, that's where I got my musical because my grandfather was a pastor. My nana was a pastor. My father was a pastor. I'm a PK. Like, yeah, it's just I've been in church all my life. My first instrument was the drums. Then I moved over to the keys. So it's like one thing I always I know where I came from and I know who gave me the gift that I have. And
Yes.
so for me it's like I ain't gonna ever stop like going to church. Like for me that's my way of giving back to God. Like you gave me this gift. Like I'll never get too high and mighty to a place where I feel like I'm too big for church or even playing in church. Like I always be in church.
How did it influence your music? Because I hear so many artists, like even from Nelly, started singing in the choir. Brandy, like how did being in the church band, influence you as the artist you are today, or the musician you are today, the producer you are today?
Um, Real talk, a lot of people, if we be honest, the music industry as a whole, no matter what genre, is strongly influenced by the church because 95% of the musicians come out of the church.
Yeah,
90% of producers come out of the church. So, the gospel that we play, the church music that we play, the worship music, all that we play, it has an influence in what we do in our creative process. So it's like also being a musician because I came up in the church, I was also and I'm still also open to all genres of music. So I just don't like just only gospel and R&B. Like I like country, I like pop, I like rock. You know what I'm saying? There's some heavy metal I listen to. Alternative. Dubstep. Like especially island music, Caribbean music. Like you know what I mean? I just I'm a musician, so I appreciate all music, the jazz, classical. I take naps on Sunday when I come home from church. Uh, and every time I take a nap, I put classical music on in the background because I like to have that in my subconscious. It relaxes me. It's like a woo-saw for me. Like it brings me in, so to speak. But yeah, so gospel music for me is like I can't do nothing without having the influence of gospel music because it's my roots.
Wow. Man, that's so
Yeah.
beautiful. And you said that so good because I also was in like the marching band. I sung in a choir a couple of times. I'm not a
Mm.
singer, but maybe that's why I enjoy so many different types of music too. That foundation of just being around those instruments and
Right,
starting there at church. That's
right.
awesome. That's awesome. Um, so I have to tell people because, when I first started talking to you a long time ago, you said something to me and it was so funny and I never forgot it. And I just wanted to make sure I brought it back up today. I think it's very
Okay.
fitting. You told me to never, ever call one of your tracks a beat.
I mean,
You said you don't make
I,
beats.
I say that to you.
Okay? You said I don't make beats, Kara. I make records. Okay? When you tell people what the difference between a record and a beat
Oh,
is, please, Troy.
I just had this conversation yesterday. Actually, it was part of my master class. I do master classes on music industry and stuff like that, and I was breaking that down. So the difference between I'm gonna try to break it down in a simple format because I'm not trying to be too technical or judgmental, and I don't want anyone to feel like it's shade. You feel what I'm saying? It's when I say the difference between a beat maker and a producer, everybody has their own analogy, how they would break it down and explain it. For me, I want beat makers, those that want to be able to enhance, grow, and go from the level of being just a beat maker to a producer, right? Now, if you're happy being a beat maker, you want to stay there, that's cool. But the difference between a beat maker and a producer is a beat maker is a person that puts a puts a beat together, and that's all they do.
That's it.
Make a beat, ship it off, do a session, whatever. That's it. Get a little check, whatever, and that's the end of it. A producer is like a parent. A producer
Mm,
is like yeah, I would say a parent. Like a producer creates, gives birth to the track and follows it from the end, from the beginning of the creation of it to the end of it.
mm.
Now I'm gonna get a little controversial with this next
Come
statement
on
I'm
with
about
it.
to make,
Come on.
and some might argue me, but I would love to challenge or argue this point. Every producer is not a musician.
Every producer is not a musician.
Yeah, you don't
Okay.
have to actually play an instrument to be a producer.
I'm glad
You
you're
follow
going
me?
there because I was going to ask you that, how you felt
Yeah,
about that too. Okay.
it's controversial. Now, when I was young and coming up in the game, I didn't understand that. I'm like, you don't play, how can you call yourself a producer? Da, da, da. But maturing in the business and seeing how things work and operate, the greatest example I always give people is Puffy. Puffy don't know how to play no instrument, but he's an official like he's a producer. He may not. I've been in sessions with Puffy. Like we did a couple of records with Jennifer and with Puffy in on it, and I I see how he flow. Puffy, he may not be able to play, but he can articulate what he hears and what he wants you to do. You'll make the hat do this, make the kick do this, the chords need to do this, and he stays with the song from the creation to the ending. So basically, what I told this young man yesterday was, so it takes, you might know this, it takes approximately, I'll go a low number, anywhere between, I'll say 6 to 7 hours to create a 3 minute song,
Mm.
right? On average. Let's just say it takes me an hour to create the beat on average. Uh, I gotta send it off to the engineer to mix it. It takes him an hour or two to mix it. Him and I go back and forth. Nah, tweak the kick. Nah, I think the snare need to be louder. Put some reverb on that. After all that, we up to about 4 hours right now. Now it has to be. Let me rewind. I forgot a process. It takes 8 hours. After the creation of the music is made, song has to be written and sung, whether it's a rap or an R&B song. That process can take anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, depending on the writer and how long it takes the artist to sing. So now we have the creation of the music and the song coming to it. Now it's an actual record. That's 5 hours alone right there, just the creation of the music and the recording of the song. It could take any amount, I've been in studio with people that write fast and can lay it out, knock it out maybe like an hour or two. But on average, between creating the song, the track, the song, 4 to 5 hours. Now you send it off to the mix engineer. They mix it. You go back and forth with them. You up to 7 hours right now. Now you gotta send it off to be mastered. That's another 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. So at the end of the day, it's taking 9 hours of work to create a project that's just gonna be 3 to 3.5 minutes on average. You know what I'm saying? Radio song. And so a producer's responsibility is to make sure in each step, in each phase, that that baby is being taken care of. Like the mix is right. I'm coaching the vocalist, you know, do this, do these harmonies. I have input on the writing of the song. Like, I think you should say this on the hook, or you say that on the verse. Like, switch it up. Like, my input, my fingerprint is on every part of the record. A beat maker doesn't have a fingerprint on every part of the record. A beat maker is just gonna simply make the beat, ship it off, do your thing, you know. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if you really want your imprint on the record, you follow it all the way through to the end. You know what I mean? And even as far as having a say on who actually gets the record, who sings on the record, who raps on the record, who writes the record, like all that is a process. So for me, that's why I told you I'm not a beat maker. I make records because I'm involved in the process all the way through. Like you're not just going say. I get people ask me all the time, "Yo, send me some tracks, send me some beats." I'm like, okay,
Right.
you know, I I just don't send music out. Like my music is important to me. Like I value it, so I just ain't just sending it out random just because you want a song or a beat. You know, this is how I eat. That's a whole nother
Well,
conversation.
well, thank you. I feel so special because you sent me some tracks.
I
So
did.
I, so I
I
appreciate
did.
that.
But you know what? You were persistent. You were very persistent.
Well, that is true. I
You were
am.
persistent.
I'll stay up on you, boy.
You 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 were definitely persistent. You know, because I'm good for like I won't say so if I see an alert, I'm the type of person I see an alert, I'm like, I get to it. And I get another phone call or something else coming, I don't forgot. A text, a message, or whatever. Like my kids get on me about that all the time. Dad, you missed my call. You ain't call me back. You ain't text me. My bad. I'm sorry. I meant to. I just forgot. So like, yeah, but you were persistent.
You
You were
know what?
persistent.
Because I find that if you just keep at it, most times if people when they give up, that's why they don't make it anywhere. You just gotta keep going at what you want.
Can I tell you part of my process with artist development?
No.
Let me tell
Sure,
you
go
part. Let me tell
ahead.
you.
Real
So
quick though, let me say I'm
good.
so glad you explained that producer thing because people get that so confused. But yeah, go ahead with the artist development.
Yeah.
Go ahead and teach
So
us. Go
so
ahead.
for me, artist development, it goes into it's kind of piggybacking off what you just said. For me, artist development, um, I'm gonna put it out there. I normally don't put it out there because I don't like people to know. I just like them to experience it because if they know, then they try to, act accordingly. But but I haven't developed an artist in a very long time. I haven't found an artist that I thought I can work with, like make my artist sign to my company and develop. I did it for years earlier in my career, and I was very successful. I was 5 for 5. That means every artist that I signed, every artist that I worked with, that I developed, they all got major deals. Now, what they did after that, what happened after that, that wasn't on me. I do fault myself in a couple of situations because I should have stayed involved, but I was young. I just want to get that bag and keep it moving. Like, I develop all this, boom. If you cut the check, I bet, here you go. Do your thing. I'm out. And on to the next. But one of my the part of my process is I'll start work with somebody or contacting or text messaging, sending music, and then after about 2 weeks, I disappear.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you did that to me.
I see it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
disappear on
yeah.
purpose. And depending on the artist or whoever it is, I'll disappear anywhere between 3 to 4 weeks or 2 months.
Yeah, you really pissed me off.
It's it's part of my process,
Right.
and I learned that because it's something that I implemented because I was working with people. Let me rewind. This music industry is not for the faint of heart, and if you can't handle rejection, that's just one aspect. If you can't handle rejection, this game is not for you. Like you're in the wrong business. I don't care what you do, produce, write, artist, man. If you can't handle rejection, it's not for you. So I literally I test people. I'm gonna ignore you for a while, and I want to see how you respond. And I remember there was one dude. He was a dope dude, singer. His name was Jay something out of New York. Nigga, he was dope. Like vocally, a beast. Had a big head. Pause. But he was a dope singer. And we was getting ready to go in the studio.
Mhm.
We was working, whatever, and I cut him off. This was like we had two-way pages. It was like I just stopped dealing with him. This dude cussed me out so bad in the two-way, like going sick, you blah 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 blah
Oh
blah.
man, every
And
name.
it had been 2 weeks, and I'm like, I'm glad I ain't work with you. You're not built for this. You're not ready. You can't handle rejection.
Oh man.
If you can't handle me ignoring you, there's no way in the world you'll be able to handle $1 billion company ignoring you. Let's say you get signed, you get a record deal, and they sit you on the shelf. How you gonna act? And you sign through me. If I bring you in, you're not gonna embarrass me. You're not gonna make me look crazy. So I literally that's just the first part. That's phase one. Like if you can handle but there was a couple people, there's a few people like them say Grace was like, I don't know what's going on, haven't heard from you in a while. Hope everything's okay. I'ma still keep sending you music. Hopefully you still want to work with me. Da da da. Those are people that are like, okay, I can work with you. You've passed this one phase. You know what I'm saying? But it was plenty of people like stop talking to me. Like I see him in public somewhere or at an event. I get eyes rolled at me. Sometime I put my hand out for dap. Yo, what's good? How you been? I get to like, oh, he think he all that. He think he did. They don't even understand. It was a process. It was a test, and you failed. It's not that I think I'm big headed or I'm high and mighty. No, it's technically I don't want to be as humble as I can say. I don't even got to be bothered with you. Technically, I don't need you.
Oh,
You know,
that's true. That is true.
technically, I have been. I'm blessed. I'm fortunate. I'm in a position where if I find an artist that I want to work with, I have the capabilities and abilities and the connections where we can make something happen and get you on, like eventually get you a deal or something, some kind of way. So technically, I ain't gotta be bothered with you. But I've been called, he think he all that. Nah, you just wasn't built. You ain't past phase one. You can't take rejection. So that's a part of my process. But I know I pissed you off because you had something. It was you
Look,
said something kind of
I
side.
didn't
You
curse you
encouraged me,
out
but
though.
I felt
I
the
didn't
tension
curse.
in the text. You came a little sideways. You was like, you said I forgot what you said, but I was like, oh, somebody in their feelings.
Well, let's be clear. I'm used to rejection though. I
Okay.
don't like to be ignored, you know.
Mm, okay. Yeah, and
So
nobody
that's
does.
yeah,
And
that's my
nobody does.
thing. And
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna come after you and make you say what's up to me. So
yeah. Nobody
but
does, and
I
that's exactly what I do. I ignore the mess out of you. Like I'm about to ignore you. Every once in a while, I might be like, "Hey, what's up?" And then you respond, and I won't say nothing. I go ghost again.
but real quick, Troy, let me do this. But you
Hmm.
like something about me because you're on my live.
Yeah, you're cool. You a little cute. You might be a little cute too.
Look, okay.
Yeah, but I
Look,
like
I
your
ain't
vibe
mad.
though. I like your vibe though. Like you got a dope
I
vibe. You know what I'm
appreciate it.
saying? You got a different swag. You know what I'm saying? Your records, you know what I'm saying? You ain't typical. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have the typical sound. So, you know, you cool. You all right with me.
Well, shit. Troy might get a little call later. Look. So since you said that, though, let's get into a little fun part of this. Let's talk about some R&B happenings that's going on right now.
Okay, let's talk.
Okay, let's see here where I want to go first. Brandy versus Monica. And wait, before you answer this, I kind of know where you're gonna go because when we was on the phone once, you told me who you like, and this was before the whole versus thing. But I'm gonna let you answer because everybody who doesn't know, the whole Swiss Beats and Timberland versus the next two people coming on supposed to be Brandy and Monica, and we love them
Monday.
in competition.
Mm-hmm.
Monday, woo!
I'll be
So
in. I'll be on it. Pause.
who you got? Who you rooting for?
Um, for me, it's no hesitation. Brandy. You know.
Right.
So I'm of course I'm a creative. I'm in the music business, and I hate to get technical, but I be getting so technical. People look at me like, "Oh, you too much." But like from a technical aspect, like is verses about the number of hits, or is verses about the the quality of the records that you play? Like, what is it? Because technically, if it's about the number of hits,
Mm-hmm.
Monica is gonna win because Monica has had more hits per se than Brandy. But I'm going for Brandy because Brandy is a vocal animal. Short and like vocally, in my opinion, she's if not the dopest R&B artist. People have been saying Lil Hathaway. Lil Hathaway is dope. I give it to her,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as vocal acrobatics, like I put Brandy in the same category with Kiki Wyatt, like
Really?
and Fantasia. Absolutely, oh, absolutely,
You said
absolutely,
that to me before, like you really like Brandy. Have you worked with
absolutely.
her before?
Um, I have,
Okay.
but I'm not gonna get into that. I have.
Okay.
So long story short, the song "Bipolar" on her album. Have
Okay.
you heard it?
No, I would like to say I have, but I
Yeah,
don't think I have.
by Bipolar. I did the original version of that
Okay. I will
three
check
three
that
years
out.
ago in 2017. But yeah, vocally, Brandy's technique, and now no, Brandy's dope. I was gonna because I gotta credit LaShawn Daniels. I'm saying rest his soul, God rest in peace. But vocally, her harmonies, her movements, and so you got remember I'm a musician.
Yes.
I've grown in church. I play in church. I know good singing when I hear it. Like
And she started in church. That's what she was. Yeah.
I'm trying. So let's. This is what, and this is how you get. This is how I judge. Let's turn all the music off.
Okay.
Turn off the auto tune, off the reverb, off the chorus, off. Turn off the delays. Acapella, flat foot on the stage. Go. Who you
Okay.
think gonna win?
A lot of people can't do that without all the engineering stuff. A lot of people don't know that.
I'm trying to
There's
tell you, if Brandy and Monica stand flat foot in front of a mic with nothing, Brandy's gonna embarrass her. Like facts. There's no.
okay.
It's from a musician standpoint and a creative standpoint. Now, from a fan standpoint, all they know is lyrics and melodies. Like Monica said, "Never really called me no pain." Yeah, all right, cool. So Brandy had "Wanna Be Down." Remember, Brandy came in the game young too, But at the same time, Brandy vocally, it's no question for me. I don't argue with people that are
Mm.
not creatives. Like I've seen people on social media like, "Oh, y'all bugging. Monica's better than Brandy." I'm like, "But you a school teacher. I don't. Your voice don't. It don't matter. You work at a hospital. What you say don't matter.
All
Like
right.
we creatives got the judgment over here when it comes to this.
Oh
Like
man.
you don't know
Good
nothing
point.
about good singing. Like I'm saying, y'all think RuPaul can sing? Get out of here.
Wait, RuPaul got some jams though. For real, don't sleep. Look at your face.
Like I said, y'all think RuPaul can sing?
He can carry a little tune. I mean, we ain't got.
Anyway, so yeah, but I'm rooting for Brandy all day. You know what I
So
mean?
okay, I appreciate you answering that. I already knew who you was gonna go with, so it wasn't really a surprise for me. But
Yeah.
so I gotta ask you this, and I know this is a question everyone's asking anybody who knows R&B. But people like the rapper Young M.A., you know, it was months ago, she made a post about this. But why do people feel like they always say, where's the real R&B at? Are you insulted when people say that? Like, why are people asking, where's the real R&B? It's still R&B artists out here, aren't there? What are they talking about, Troy?
Um, I don't know. I don't know because R&B ain't never went nowhere to me. You know, what I mean,
Okay.
like, I don't. It, I would say it depends on what era you were raised, what genre, like what era you came up in the 80s or the 90s or early 2000s. Um, R&B is always here for me. Like I don't know when people say where's real R&B, and I don't know what they're listening to. Like maybe you're not listening to it. I mean, I know there was a season and a time where radio really didn't focus on R&B, and there was a shift and like everything was hip hop. Like R&B didn't really get a chance. They moved us to urban AC, you know what I'm saying, or adult AC, contemporary AC, you know, adult radio. But R&B ain't never went nowhere. Maxwell has always been around. R&B, phenomenal. Layla's always been around. Uh, Brandy, you know, it took her a while, but she keeps albums. Fantasia ain't never went nowhere. She stayed killing. Jennifer Hudson, but she kind of pop R&B. Tank stayed making dope albums. You know what I'm saying? Like I can go down the list. Like it's people that have always been never stopped making records. So for me, R&B is where it is. I don't know. You know, I don't
And,
when
you know,
people
me,
mix. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. No, I was gonna say me coming from, you know, hip hop, you know, when I contacted you and I just wanted to write an R&B song, it's because sometimes we just need that soul in music, that heart in music, and I just want to
Yeah,
get back to the love, man, you know.
yeah. I'm gonna tell
And
you right now, trap music, trap soul has introduced another style of R&B and really gave R&B another avenue, a window per se. You know what I mean? Like I
it's
would say
edgy.
when Bryson Tiller first came out, I was like, okay, y'all think this hip hop? This ain't even hip hop because this nigga singing, like he's straight singing. Like yeah, he rap a little bit, but yeah, he's singing. Like he created a lane that just opened it up for R&B to literally get back to the mainstream radio. You know what I mean? So that's why I say R&B ain't never really went nowhere. Where if you ask me, it's always been around. It's always gonna be here. Like it's a matter of, you know, I would say the powers that be control the airwaves and what we hear and all that. But now, especially now that streaming is so big and you can do your own thing independently, R&B
Mm.
ain't it's built. I can't even. I always lose my train of thought and forget people, but it's a million R&B artists out here. It's a young lady I listen named Sabrina Claudio. Like Claudia, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I heard
Dope.
her. She sounds great. Yep.
Dope. What's the girl name? I can see her face. I can't. She used to date Chris Brown. I like her. She's dope.
Hey,
What?
Chris Brown.
She used to date Chris Brown. What's the girl name?
I know you ain't talking about Rihanna, are you?
No, the other girl.
Oh, it start with a T.
I forgot her name. Jesus, I'm 45.
Well,
My
she
age is
probably some
showing.
Asian looking girl because he love Asian
Yeah.
girls.
Anyway, but yeah, yeah,
uh,
R&B. Chris Brown, that nigga's R&B. Like I
yeah,
know he goes both ways, but
yeah.
breezy R&B. Like, and he put out a song every 3 months.
I
He
was
put
about
out
to
an
say that
album every 6 months.
with 40 songs on it.
Facts. So I'm like, R&B ain't went nowhere. Like for real, for real. It's just a matter of where you at with it. Like what kind of R&B you want to listen to? Like what you waiting to listen? You trying to hear SWV? You know what I'm saying? Again, like where you at? Like what area did you come up in? What era? So for me, R&B ain't never left. It's always been here.
So okay, so we have this one side of you that's a musician. You
Hmm.
play, how many instruments can you play?
Um, Drums, keys, bass, guitar, little cello, little violin, about 6 or 7.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm trying to be humble with one gift. How do you stay humble with those many gifts? I'm not even being
Um,
funny. Like, that's
because I
crazy.
know I haven't mastered them all. I just play them
Okay.
all well enough. I one thing I'll never get is a big head. Pause, man. I'm wilding. One thing I never get is a when it comes to yeah, my gifts. I can't because I know it's easy, not easy, but the way I have them, you like that, you could lose it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I stay grateful. I'm sincere. Like, God, I thank you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can never get a big head. Like, nope, not possible.
Okay. That's so beautiful. I grew up playing the piano and I tried to play the saxophone in band, so instruments are real close to my heart, you
Yeah.
know. So we got the instruments here, we have the songwriting over here. So let's talk about the songwriting a bit.
Okay.
That's another big part. How did you get into that, the songwriting part of music?
Um, I would say by default, really. I really, yeah, by default, because I don't really consider myself a lyricist per se, but then I can't say that because I write songs. It's just so this is what I believe. I believe God does not give incomplete gifts.
Hmm. Ooh, say that again, because somebody need to hear that. What?
I believe God doesn't give incomplete gifts. So basically, and I'm gonna tell you why. I have a god sister, an amazing vocalist. I mean, amazing. This girl can sing the stars out of heaven, like crazy. This was just about 10, it was like 2008, 2009. I wanted to work with her, and do a little CD or whatever project. I said, are you writing yet? You writing? Like, no, I don't write. I'm like, what you mean you don't write? The way you sing, the way you lead praise and worship, what do you mean you can't write a song? No, I've never tried it. I can't write. I don't know how to write. I said, you're insulting God. God doesn't give incomplete gifts. If God
Hmm.
gave you the gift of music, then any and everything that encompasses music, you have the ability to do. You
Wow.
just got to develop it. So like if say so I play, right? I'm a musician, but I never picked up a pen to write a lyric or a melody. It's not that I can't. It's just I never developed it. If I like to play the piano and I want to play the guitar, I have the gift to do it. So it'll be easier for me than someone who doesn't have the gift. I know plenty of musicians that play several instruments. I know, like most musicians I know play more than one instrument. Most of us, I don't know too many musicians that only play one instrument. Most of us all play the drums at least and the keys. Then you got some of us that play drum, keys, bass, guitar. Like we all play more than one instrument. A lot of musicians can sing. A lot of musicians are low key dope singers and writers. You just won't know. Now I'm not talking about producers. I'm talking about musicians, cats that play. That I know in the church and that on that gig and do shows and stuff like that. But I tell people like you can't say I don't like hearing people that are musically kind saying I can't do something musical because then I feel like you're insulting God because He doesn't give
Hmm.
incomplete gifts. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, you speaking, boy.
If He gave you the ability to make cakes and you're a good
Yeah.
baker, He gave you the cooking ability. I'm sure if you worked on it and developed it, you probably could make a heck of a macaroni and cheese too because he gave you that culinary gift. Like he don't give
Yes.
incomplete gifts. And not only did he give you the gift to make different types of food, now you could probably you also have the ability to create your own recipes, write a book. Now you have a recipe book. You know what I mean? Like people get stuck in one area of a gift and don't expand it to its full potential. I don't want to die 85, 90 years old, make it to heaven, and God be like, you didn't use your gift to its full potential. You could have made three times as much money than you made, but you didn't stretch yourself. Like you was complacent in what you had. So I always challenge people, don't sit on you got more than what you're doing. Like I believe that wholeheartedly. Like people don't develop all their potential, you know what I'm saying, that God's placed in
You see this big smile on my face because I
them.
because on one end I want to say something serious, but then on another end I want to say, Troy, why are you so greedy? It's always food with you. It's just
Greedy.
food, food, food with you. Let me tell y'all something about Troy. One thing I know about him, he loves a good meal. I
Facts.
mean,
Anybody that know me know that. Facts. Anybody that know me know that. Matter of fact, I'm getting on the grill soon as we done with this interview.
oh my God. Oh man.
Facts.
Oh.
Soon as we
Well,
done.
the other thing I heard of that is, see, people who make it to that next level, they have something different. And what I hear you telling me is you have a lot of confidence, you have a lot of faith, you have a foundation.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people get lost, because if they're in this industry, they don't have a foundation. You know, some people
Mm-hmm.
start young and then they have other people defining who they are for them.
Right.
So when you're older, you should come in the game with some sense to say, I know who I am. I'm coming with a foundation. I'm confident in myself. So it's so beautiful to hear you say that. And I never thought about it in those words you put it. And that was just so beautiful to me,
Right.
that God doesn't give you any incomplete gifts.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Man, that
don't.
was beautiful.
He don't. I believe that wholeheartedly.
So you did. I just want to go to JLO real quick. So
Okay.
you wrote. Did you write and produce Jenny from the Block and I'm Real?
Produced a little bit of writing on Jenny from the Block.
Okay.
But produced it, yeah.
What about I'm Real?
I'm real, just production.
Okay. Because I was gonna say I knew there was some black hands in those two songs. Because
Yeah.
Jenny from it's it sounds like it.
Some
I'm
black hands.
real.
I mean the artists, the writers of the songs are black. Absolutely. The dudes that wrote it was black.
Oh yeah, I can tell that because
Yeah.
on the song on
My
JLo, I
boy,
wrote it down here. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead, give him a shout out. Your boy.
Jenny from the Block, Andre Dale and Antonio
Mm-hmm.
McClendon, they wrote that. And artist that I had signed that I was working with, Tasha Ramos, she's singing on that.
Oh,
Uh,
dope.
she sung the reference. The demo's so dope that we kept her backgrounds on it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Um, and Jenny from the Block, it said, "Don't be confused by the rocks that I got. I'm still Jenny from the Block. Used to have a little, but used to have a
Now I have
little,
a
now
lot.
I have a lot. No matter where I go, I know where I come from."
Right. So
I'm
I know
not a
you're not a
singer, but
singer. I see you're not a singer. You just rap.
I need a key. I need a key, and then I can hit it.
Oh,
Okay,
you need a
but
key?
you
Okay.
didn't give me no key.
I don't have a key. I we ready. Let me see. Is there a key? No, I don't have
La
a
la la
key.
la
I just.
la la la. I can hit a note every now and then. But
Oh
my
yeah.
point was, Troy, when you get to this level of success, I don't know, have you heard of the 20/80 rule?
I have.
80/20.
I've heard of it.
Okay, so it's like, how did it go? Because I just went over this today. Okay, so 20% of people do something different. 80% of the people do the same thing. And I was talking about this because I said to myself, I moved away from my hometown. I haven't been there in years. And some people may consider me not from there. And every now and then I get a little attitude from people, like they may think I think that I'm this and I'm that or whatever. And I'm not even
Uh-huh.
doing anything. I don't, where are you from?
I'm originally from Connecticut, New Haven,
Oh,
Connecticut.
that's right. I knew that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that? Do you feel the success make you feel attached from your home at all? Or have you had any envy from anybody? Or, I just want to
Oh,
know.
I've definitely had envy.
Okay.
I've had people that literally, and now these are people that I was not even associated with, but literally felt like it was my responsibility to put them on.
Mm.
Like I've had people literally tell me to my face, and I've heard talk behind people talking like, "Oh, he think he all that. He got on. He ain't put nobody else on. He this, he that, that, that." I've had that, but at the same time, I've had so much love and support from home too. So it's like people that know me and know my heart know I ain't that type of dude. Like if I ain't work with you because one, either I feel you don't have it, two, I feel you're not ready, or three, I don't feel you have it. Like I tried with a couple people, they gave me this back, gave me their CDs. I take it to New York. play it, you know what I'm saying, for a couple of executives or whatever. And not, I wouldn't even set up a meeting. There's a certain way you had to do it. Like if the vibe is right in the studio, I'm like, yo, check out this rapper from back home. Put it in and be like, it's garbage. All right. I try. You know, I can't make somebody or make a record label or executive like I already knew it wasn't gonna fly, but so they can't say I didn't try, excuse me, you know. But then at the same time, there were a lot of people, I won't say a lot, a handful of people that I would say I've mentored and that I pulled in the pause. Ooh, I'm wilding. That I pulled in the game with me. I'm crazy although I pulled in. Um and they could attest for, you know, me like reaching back like, yo, like my boy Reggie Hamlet, he live in Virginia, he a pastor now. When I was working, we came up in the church together. But Reggie's a monster guitar player, a monster on the bass, and he played keys and he started doing production too. So I pulled him in with me working on Jennifer's album, like his first time doing anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And from there, Reggie he went his own way. There's a group of producers that I manage by the name of The Breed. I started working with them in like 2009, 2010. You know, just mentoring them, just teaching them ins and out of the industry, critiquing their music. They'll attest to it. They'll tell the testimony better than I can. But and I ignore them. They'll tell you the time they came and played me music, I was like garbage. I listened to 5 seconds, be like, that's horrible. Do that over, like real talk. And for years, like this went on for years, but they were persistent. They stuck with it. Now them do records for Chris Brown, Trey Songs, French Montana, Diddy, bunch of new artists that I ain't even know, like they doing their thing now. But you know what I'm saying, they stuck in there and just, for focus and they're from home. So, I haven't been, I don't want to say completely yeah, so there's a few people that I've reached back home and there's a couple people that I try to pull and grab and bring them with me and they didn't have the same hunger. They didn't want it. Like
The
it's a
reason the
sacrifice.
the reason I ask you that is because I don't know if sometimes people feel obligated to reach back home, or do they feel, people talk so much trash sometimes. It's like they love you, but then they don't know how to quite feel about your success. So I just want to
I
know
got
how
that a lot.
somebody, how
I
you
didn't
how
feel
you
I didn't
deal
feel
with that.
obligated. I didn't feel obligated, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I know what it takes. Like
Right.
it's it's not easy. You got to be tough skinned to be in this industry, and I know what I had to sacrifice. Like I'll say this, and we've had this conversation. We laughed about it, and it wasn't funny when we was going through it. But I got in the game when I was young, and I had just got married. Got married. We had 4 kids. We were living in like the projects. But I literally had sacrificed my family literally for the success of the music industry. But in my mind, I'm like, I'm just doing this so we can live a better life. Like it was, my kids would go days and weeks without seeing me. You know what I mean? And back then we had FaceTime. Cell phones wasn't really popping like that. I'm calling you from the studio landline to the house landline. And if she on the phone, then I can't get through, or she can't catch me in the studio because she calling Studio C and I'm in Studio A, or we don't went to get something to eat. So it's like that's one part of it and that was just one sacrifice I made. Like my family, like they lost out a lot. My kids, there's a lot of their growing up where they didn't see me, and I would try to make up for it. Not try, I would make up for it though. When I came home, straight to Toys R Us. I came home, straight to the mall. My ex-wife used to hate it. Oh my God, you're spoiling them. I'm like, I ain't seen them in like 2 weeks. Like, let's go. We would go. I have 4 kids living in one house. Let's go to Toys R Us. Everybody get a carriage, fill it up. You know what I mean? And for them, it's like, Daddy, we miss you, but thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get home, they didn't even think about me. They playing with their toys. So it was a lot of sacrifice. Like driving. I lived in Connecticut, but most of my work was in New York. It was a 2.5 hour ride for me to New York and back. 2.5 there, 2.5 back. It was times I would leave New York 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, get home at 4:35 on a Sunday, and have to take a shower and go straight to church.
Mm.
You know what I'm
And you
saying?
still
Like
you still went to church. Oh, yep.
You feel what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's sacrifice. It's times when I was up 24 hours. I wanted to be asleep. But we had to
Yeah.
mix these records. We had to get these records done. We had deadlines. Like it's a sacrifice. Like and those are I don't want to say small sacrifices, but that's just a couple of aspects of it. Like so I know everybody's not built for it. And that's why I do that test that I do or that I used to do.
Troy, I had such a fantastic time talking to you. I really had so much more I want to talk to you about social issues and things that's
Yeah.
going on, and we
You
really
see
didn't
my
get to
shirt.
go into that. What did it say?
My life matters.
It sure does. And
Yes.
my life matters, and
Facts.
your life matters.
Facts.
Um, brown skin matters.
Yeah. No cap.
So that's what matters. I guess in closing, I've learned a couple of new things about you,
Okay.
and I have a bigger respect for you. I
Okay.
already respect you. I think your daughter is saying we should do a part two. I would love to have you on again at
That's not
some
my
point.
daughter. That's my ex.
Oh, is that your
That
ex?
that's my baby mama, yeah.
Oh, dang. Hey, baby mama. Hey, baby. All
Uh,
right. Well, you got support all the way around, so that's
uh,
cool.
right.
But
But it took the Lord to get us there. The good
um,
ain't nobody but the Holy Ghost. We cool. Praise God.
look, a full circle, baby.
Listen. Yeah.
Look, that got awkward real quick, but no, it's not awkward. Look, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to
Listen,
bounce back from that.
anybody that's ever been married and divorced will understand what I'm saying. Like it ain't awkward. Like it ain't but nobody but the Holy Ghost that we cool. But it's good. Like you need to be that way for the kids. Like people think it's weird and awkward that we cool and we get along, but like it's ugly divorces, it don't do nothing but make it hard for the kids, you know. But that's
Oh,
another subject for another
I didn't
day.
give a. I wasn't thinking about the kids. I was thinking about me flirting with you on here, baby. I
Oh,
didn't give a damn about the kids. What you talking about? I may be trying to be a baby mama. What you talking about? I ain't worried about that. Shit.
don't
Excuse
worry
me.
about it. We good. It ain't awkward. It ain't awkward. We good.
I'm just messing around, baby
We
mama.
good.
But
Yeah.
thank you so much, Troy. You already know what it is. I learned so much today, and I feel like everyone else learned a lot too that they didn't know probably about the industry. And if
Good.
you want to check out some stuff Troy's doing, Troy, if you just want to tell us what you got going on right now.
Right now we just building. You know, we're finishing up Trey's album. I'm actually in the process of. I'm trying to look. I'm looking for artists to develop. I'm going back into that phase. Like I'm ready to develop somebody, ready to get somebody. Out there. There's a new artist that I work with. He ain't coming. His name is Devon Culture. Uh, my mentor artist, Troy Taylor's artist. We're about to do a live show with him next week. This BMI situation.
Mm.
We just working. Just working. Just work. I can't. I suck at this, but trying to remember what I got going on right now, I'm the worst at that. Yeah, because there's so much going on.
Well, that's all
But
good.
yeah, but
Don't forget about me over here. So don't look when you see my number come across that screen right there. Don't forget I got music too, baby. Look, I'm
no
promoting
doubt.
myself on my show too. I may need some artist development. Shit, I need that. So don't forget about your girl.
Yeah,
Look,
no doubt.
don't forget about your girl. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us on my first official name change of the show, Kera Dangerous Talk. It was so much fun.
Okay,
This is my music
nice.
week. Tomorrow I got producer and artist King James Worthy on. So you
Dope.
enjoy that grilled food and I'll holler
Absolutely.
at you.
All right.
All right,
Later.
later.